ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yẹ ń gbọ́ ẹyẹ òdélé bá lórúlé o ọ̀rọ̀ ni.
32 teeth following, so they are swallowing. Monkey is swallowing. Snake self swallowing. Next, a swallow too will fly and come and swallow. You're ever swallow in a hollow gallow, making a whole lot of halabah.
Hi everyone, my name is Louise Reiter. I'm a project manager working at Google Arts and Culture, and I'm really excited to be here today to talk to you about Google Arts and Culture. Firstly, I just want to thank Lola and her team for inviting us to speak today. I am really honored to be here and to speak to you and share something which I think is very exciting. I also just want to congratulate Lola and her team for working really hard the many months in order to create this incredible festival. I think in these times, these unprecedented times, we need people like Lola and we need Arcade Festival to help us and inspire us. So thank you, Lola and team, for creating such an amazing program. I'm really excited about all the speakers, and I hope all of you have been following the last few talks and days. I'll move on. So I'm here today to speak to you about Google Arts and Culture. I'm just going to give you a brief overview of what Google Arts and Culture is. Then I'm going to show you some of our projects that we've launched, and also show you a project that we launched this week in Kenya. What is Google Arts and Culture? Well, let's start by watching this video. What is Google Arts and Culture? Google Arts and Culture is a non-for-profit part of Google, and what we do is to partner with non-for-profit institutions around the world to help them digitize their collections and expertise and showcase that to the world. So we consider us as the innovation partner of the non-for-profit institutions, the museums, etc., around the world. And they are really the experts. So everything you see on Google Arts and Culture has been uploaded, written by, and curated by the partners. They are really the experts. So we, Google Arts and Culture, we try to empower them with our free technologies and storytelling tools. I highly encourage you to go on the App Store and download the Google Arts and Culture app. So basically everyone around the world has access to this app and has access to the world's arts and culture that all of these wonderful partners have uploaded. So I would say it's like a rabbit hole. From art, crafts, street art, performing arts, food, the natural world, you can find anything. And usually when I start, I end up in a very unexpected area I find something which usually inspires me or excites me. So I highly encourage you to download the app, try some of the wonderful experiments, and look at some of the wonderful partners that we have. So Google Arts and Culture actually started in 2011, and it was the idea that an architect student in Mumbai who might not have the means to travel, he would actually be able to travel to the Guggenheim Museum in New York, the Colosseum in Rome, or the pyramids in Egypt by Street View. So we quickly found out back then that many institutions needed support in terms of digitization. So with our 17 founding partners, from the Met to the MoMA, we started helping them photograph some of their paintings and objects. And that has now grown to over 2,000 partners from over 80 countries around the world. But how do we collaborate? Well, we have kind of 4 main pillars. So the first one is learn. Right now, you can go on the app and you can explore more than 6 million artifacts uploaded by our wonderful partners. They have also, with these artifacts, curated exhibits or stories around them, and there are more than 8,000. From all of these objects or artifacts, we've created opportunities for users to, for example, with the art Selfie, I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but you can take a portrait of yourself, a selfie, and it will match you with all of the portraits that the wonderful museums have uploaded from around the world. You can also search by color and time, and there's even an opportunity to find your favorite painting and project it into your own living room. So maybe in these times, it's also great for kids to actually be able to look at a painting up close and really understand all the brush strokes and colors and layers now that homeschooling is becoming such a big part of what we do in our everyday. The other pillar is travel. And so with Street View, you can travel all around the world. There are more than 9,000 immersive tours that you can take from the comfort of your couch and really explore everything from the Taj Mahal to the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Preservation. So what we do is really to support the partners in terms of digitizing, but also, preserving endangered sites around the world. Currently, we are involved in 13 projects, and that is really something that's very, very important to us and something we're incredibly devoted to. So that being temples, but also natural sites, etc., around the world. So how do we do this? Well, with our partners, we kind of break it up into collection, storytelling, audience, and innovation. In terms of collection, we help the partners, the museums and non-for-profits, by offering our free technologies, so that every single partner is different and every single partner has different superpowers. And when I say superpowers, it's really what is the story that no one else can tell? What is the Mona Lisa of your collection? And we try and help the partners bring that to life online. So we do that with some of these technologies. So the art camera photographs in really, really high resolution, and you can do incredible tours, guided Zoom tours on the site. We also offer museum view, so Street View. Can also, as you see here, it's a theater. We can also go in and photograph that. And then we have a tabletop scanner. So for letters or manuscripts, etc., or photographs, we are able to also help digitize archives. On top of digitization, there's also storytelling, which is a really key component to this. So on the site, which I'll show you more in detail, we really offer ways to create engaging stories by using photographs that you can zoom in and out, using audio, using videos, street views, and virtual reality to really make it as engaging as possible for people who might come with an interest in the subject or might stumble upon it by chance. With the art selfie, as I mentioned, over 75 million selfies were actually taken in the US since the launch. I think this is many more now, but it really escalated, and it was a wonderful way to not only engage with a new audience, but also with partners. I'm from Denmark, Copenhagen, and up in the north, and we had one of our partners there actually contacted us because suddenly there was a big spike in the visitors on their site, and they didn't quite understand why. But they had uploaded many portraits, so a lot of people have been matched with those portraits, which were wonderful. So many museums, for example, they are not able to show all of their collections, so all of their paintings, etc. So this is a really great way to also engage with audiences in new ways and show really the superpowers of each of the institutions. We also, with making culture accessible in this way, we try and help partners and people around the world finding culture and enjoying it easier. So not only through the website, also the app, and also through Google search. So you can, for example, type in the name of an artist, and some of the, as you can see here, some of the suggested artworks by this artist will come up. And all of the artworks are credited directly to the partners, the museums and non-for-profits. So people know that all of this has been validated by the people who own the rights to it. Furthermore, we also match partners with YouTube creators and create series for them, which I'll also show you shortly. But this is also another way of engaging with new audiences and people. Furthermore, we have our lab in Paris, where all of our wonderful engineers, they sit. And this is really where the magic happens. So once all of the institutions have uploaded their collections, their objects, many of our engineers are then matched with these, and they start looking at it in new ways by using machine learning, for example. And they come up with new ways to explore each of the partners' collections. Furthermore, the lab also works with artists and technologists. They offer art residencies, and we're always very interested in being connected to young, aspiring designers, technologists, etc., and try and come up with new ways to explore arts and culture. So I'm just going to play this video, which gives you an overview to what the lab is.
At the Google Arts and Culture Lab, we asked ourselves a simple question. What if we could explore centuries worth of art, history and heritage using the latest technology? And that's what we've been experimenting with at the lab.
Machine learning is so exciting. I mean, there is so many things you can do when a computer, when a software starts understanding what is inside the content.
Art Selfie allow you to connect with artworks in a very personal way. You just take a selfie. Machine learning algorithms try to look within tens of thousands of artworks to see if there is one that looks just like you. The worldwide response was phenomenal as people starting to share their matches and talk about them. Tens of millions of selfies were taken and matched to artworks.
Life magazine is one of the most iconic publications in history. Life Tags is an experiment that organises Life magazine's archives into an interactive encyclopedia.
Art Palette is an experiment to play with colors. So everyone can create a palette of color and get in return artworks that match this palette. We hope Art Palette can be great inspiration for designers, for artists, because it's able to relate palette of colors with artworks.
Our goal is to open new pathways to explore within arts and culture and see how modern technology can be applied to further empower artists, institutions, and audiences.
So before I go into a live demo, I just want to say that Google Arts and Culture is really here to bring more exposure to the world's arts and culture and hopefully offer new engaging ways to explore these. So we do this through preservation, inspiration, and fun. And we're always keen to hear from potential prospect partners in terms of partnering with us, becoming a partner. It's completely free. But also just to engage on all our social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc., Twitter, and just connect with all of the wonderful partners that we have. So I'm now going to go into a live demo and show you some of our projects that we've recently launched. So with that in mind, what you see here is Google Arts and Culture, so the desktop version. And as I mentioned, you can also download it on your phone with the app. And through the app, you'll be able to try the art selfie, the art projector by projecting an artwork into your living room or kitchen or garden, anywhere. But this is the desktop version. And what you see here is kind of the homepage. And every day you will find new stories that are highlighted. And that is everything from games to places to museums to artworks. You can also project, for example, here, a whale in augmented reality into your living room. And you can start playing with some of the artworks that have been uploaded. Or you can simply watch a video highlighting some artworks and music. But now that this is the RK Festival and this is Nigeria, let's search for Nigeria and see what comes up. So Nigeria here, you have up here 5 collections, so 5 partners that we have launched so far. I'll show you them shortly, but I just want to highlight you have the partners, you have some of the stories that they have created, and you have all of the artifacts, photographs, etc., connected somehow to Nigeria, which you can search through time, for example, and kind of get an overview of, which is really, really interesting. So firstly, I would love to show you Tour Nigeria. So this is a great partner, and they have here created a beautiful partner page that we offer all our partners. So you can here, through their partner page, look at all of their wonderful and beautiful images from around Nigeria. So they uploaded all of these that you can also search through time. And then down here, you'll be able to find street views. So you'll be able to, for example, visit Lekki Conservation Center, or climb, and there's a nice little monkey here, or climb, for example, Mount Paddy with Street View. There's many, many experiences here, so I highly recommend you to visit, or even Ulumu Rock, for example. Tour Nigeria, they were really keen to highlight some of the beautiful natural wonders of Nigeria. And here, this is an exhibit, an online story, where they highlighted 14 of these beautiful natural wonders. So Suma Rock, you probably know many of these. Vicky Warm Springs, so for someone like me sitting in London, it's really incredible to see these pictures and be inspired, and it really makes me want to travel to Nigeria and see these places in person.
My most memorable Nigerian holiday trip was to Imota. That is where I come from. I remember seeing my grandparents, my late grandma and my late grandpa, and I remember my late grandma giving us puff puff very, very early in the morning. It was very hot before we even had our baths or brushed our teeth, and I just remember walking on red sand without slippers. I remember masquerades performing, and it was just a very lovely holiday with all the family gathered around. That is my most memorable Nigerian holiday trip. Must see in Nigeria is multiple women pounding yam with different pistols but one mortar. It is a sight to behold. A must taste in Nigeria is jollof rice. A must smell in Nigeria is party jollof rice. There's a difference. A must feel in Nigeria is sitting in traffic for a very long time, especially for those of us in Lagos. By the time you get out from that car, your muscles will be so tired. So that's a must feel. An interesting sound of Nigeria would be going to the car park and hearing the bus conductors calling the locations of where the cars are going. You should definitely go to either a market or go to the bus parks. If Nigeria had a soundtrack, I believe it would be the song from Sonny Okosun, and it says, "Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go?" I think that's what it says. I love my fatherland. I want to know which way Nigeria, which way to go. I think that's what the lyric says.
There's also 13 things you need to know about Nigeria. Tour Nigeria also created an exhibit which highlighted the Agungu Festival, which is Africa's biggest fishing celebration. It looks incredible and something really, really spectacular. So with the exhibits, you kind of have the history, the background, you meet the people, you understand the culture, the rituals, and why this is so important to the fishing festival. Wonderful, wonderful photographs. What they also did, there's also an exhibit on Mount Paddy, so what to look out for when visiting. You can also visit the National Museum of Lagos and see 8 must-visit masterpieces. Furthermore, an exhibit which kind of blew me away was these butterflies of Nigeria. Really, I had no idea that there was such a diversity of butterflies in Nigeria, and these photographs really encapsulates that. It's absolutely stunning, really, really beautiful. So this was Tour Nigeria. There's also other festivals highlighted. Highly encourage you to take a look. Furthermore, I would love to show you another project which we launched last year, which was called Come Chop Belleful, A Taste of Nigeria. The iconic dishes, must-visit markets, and unforgettable flavors. So, food in any culture is never just about filling stomachs. It's about love affairs and pleasure and passion, about textures and aroma, about cultural identity. So we had the great honor of partnering with the Pan-Atlantic University to create this project. And as it states, it really, we were not able to cover every single community and dish around Nigeria, but we tried our best. So you will be able to, on this page, explore some of the iconic dishes and understand more of the culture around it. I've had a few times to visit Lagos and taste some of the food, and I'm a big fan of jollof. It's incredible. So it was really a great project to do as an introduction to someone from the outside world who has maybe never been exposed to the kitchen and then get an insight to it. So here, this takes you through how to pile your plate, how cooking Nigerian style, for example, pot cooking on the street, how to create fufu. Also, we kind of created these exhibits, which takes you around some of the markets in Lagos, but also here, the fish market, Ebe Fish Market. And there's some really beautiful photos, and it shows you kind of the everyday of the fishermen and women, but also the children. And kind of you go on a little exploration of fishing for the day. And it's all smiles. So that's really wonderful. Furthermore, you can also, there's also this exhibit on Jollof Rice. Get the party started with Jollof Rice. A section on pepper soup, very essential. And a surprising exhibit for me was Aju Abeze. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I'm sorry if I'm not, but soup for healing. And yeah, it was really interesting to read about the health benefits of this soup and how to cook it. A section on meat, suya, pounding yam, but also the Yam Festival. So Nikki kindly allowed us to be part of the New Yam Festival and get an insight to how that is being celebrated, from dancing to food to the music, the wonderful, wonderful music. Again, I really encourage you to have a look at the exhibit. And then finally, there's some really great akara, but we also were invited by Tundun from the Jazz Hall to visit her, but also she gave a tutorial of 3 of her favorite drinks that she creates in the Jazz Hall and offers everyone. So here you can follow a step-by-step guide to that. So moving on, I want to show you a project which is very, very dear to me. It is called We Wear Culture, and it is all about fashion. So in 2017, we actually launched this project, and it's all about the stories behind what we wear. We partnered with over 184 museums and non-for-profits around the world, from 42 countries actually, to tell 3,000 years of fashion. They created more than 500 stories, which we have kind of put into these chapters around the icons, the famous faces and designers that have changed the way we dress, the movements, the making of, and the arts. So there's something for everyone. For the project, when it launched, we were actually only able to cover or partner with 4 institutions from the continent of Africa. And from 2017, I have, and the team I work with, Tulu and Fami, we are working very, very devotedly to enhance art and culture from the continent of Africa, but also find new partners, museums, and offer them our free technologies to really expose that to the world. Because we know that the representation of African art and artists on the platform is not good enough. But we need help from our partners to basically put it onto the platform and then share it with the world. And here you see a map of some of the partners from the fashion project. So I'm quickly going to go up here and just show you the chapter, The Making Of, which was all about the craft and stories behind what you wear. So you had everything from saris to kimonos, to traditional dresses, but also it looked at textiles, materials from South Africa to Ghana. And then finally, there was also a part on adire, the art of tie and dye. To me, the most beautiful art. This is a short exhibit on how to create adire, which is really, really beautiful and such a wonderful process. Again, I highly encourage you to have a look at it. So another project I would love to show you is on Africa Day. So this year we celebrated Africa Day, and we created this exhibit in collaboration with many, many partners. So it's really 11 ways to celebrate Africa Day, from Nigerian cuisine to contemporary beats. Get a taste of African cultures with these different Google Arts and Culture features. So to start off with, you can step inside and explore the collections of our 26 partners that have launched on the continent of Africa. So everything from Street View. So as you can see here, I can move around. This is the African Heritage House in Nairobi, Kenya, that you can scroll around. You can get the party started with Jollof by exploring the Comchop Bellaful project, or you can even let the musician Davido inspire your taste buds with some of his favorite dishes. So we interviewed him, and you can get a taste of what he loves and who his favorite chef is. There was also here a feature on music. This is from Kenya. So the contemporary beats, explore the roots and rhythms of African music. And you can join a street concert in Egypt, for example, and really get a sense of that. 4, discover how African masks changed modern art. You can also explore masks from Cameroon, Benin, Burkina Faso, and Angola. 5, get to know Africa's communities. So you can join Carol Beckwith and Angela Fisher, who have, for over, I believe it's 4 decades, documented 150 cultures, spanning more than 40 countries with these beautiful, beautiful photographs. You can visit the pyramids and let Street View be your guide. Get style inspiration from African artisans and designers. Looking at the diaspora, Nas, we did a collaboration with him for Black History Month in the US. And there's a wonderful video of him talking about the history of Black musicians.
I was raised to understand that every month was Black History Month. That every day my ancestors, contemporaries, and dreamers like myself can, shall, and continue to make history. I would realize through the education I received from my parents and my own travels that Robert Johnson, Louis Armstrong, Sarah Vaughan, and Slick Rick were one and the same. Native storytellers who shine a light on our purpose, preserved our legacy, and without question rocked the house. Some might argue that this here scribe is talking a whole lot of jazz, but anyone fly enough and culturally astute enough to listen will hear what I'm saying. We are here. From the beginning, forever, we continue to rise.
I highly encourage you to watch it. You can place a contemporary African masterpiece in your home with the Google Arts and Culture app. So you can also feel the power of African art with 5 creatives. So we asked Omoyemi Akerele from Lagos Fashion Week and Bolanle Austin Peters from Terra Culture to share an artwork that they had found on Google Arts and Culture, an artwork that brought them hope in these unprecedented times. And you can read the interview with them and why that artwork really moves them. Furthermore, we did a collaboration with YouTube where it was a benefit concert to celebrate the best of Africa, really. And here you had all of these wonderful musicians from the continent share a song, poem, etc. And that was highlighted. So that was an exhibit on Africa Day in collaboration with all of these great partners. So I want to show you another example of something that we recently did. So this was in South Africa for National Women's Day. So let's see here. We again collaborated with the Nelson Mandela Foundation on this exhibit, Voices of Empowerment, 24 South African Women. So this was launched on National Women's Day in South Africa. And it really celebrated not only 24 women, but really tried to, with video and short quotes, to inspire a new generation and the current generation to take the torch and lead in the way of women's rights, etc. So they were all by the Nelson Mandela Foundation and by Ruth Hopday and Jeff Blackwell. They were interviewed in terms of what really matters to them. So what they think, these women, about life, their career, their hopes for the future, and so forth. So here you'll see 24 of these women, from Winnie Mandela to many others. So she says here, for example, it's still a struggle to uplift the lives of women. As a result, our generation and the generation that followed us are still not as educated as our men. We're still fighting for total equality. Another incredible quote as well is by Joanne Fedler. And she says here, when we can own our stories as storytellers rather than victims and make meaning from our experiences, we have a chance to transform. And when we can find our voice and share our stories, we light the way for other people to do the same. So from that project, I want to show you, the final project I want to show you is a project that we launched this week. So we have, maybe if I take you back to the We Wear Culture project, the fashion project, which launched in 2017, we signed as a partner the National Museums of Kenya. So the National Museums of Kenya is an incredible partner, and they have an incredible and very large collection. This is their partner page, which you can explore. So when we partnered with them, we asked them, what is your superpower? What is the story that you would like to tell? And they came back to us and said, we would like to tell the story of the people of Kenya. And we have more than 10,000 objects that we would like to have digitized. So we went in with a special team and photographed. Here you see some of the objects that each relate to the communities in Kenya. So there are more than 44 officially registered communities in Kenya. And each of these objects relate to them, from the Kikuyos to the Luos to the Maasais and so forth. So we went in and photographed instruments, weaponry, and so forth. And as you can see here, this behind the scenes, this is some of the work that took place over a whole year. And the result is this partner page with over 10,000 objects that you can explore here. So you have jewelry, textiles, weaponry, etc. that you can search through time. And you can also search through color, which is always quite interesting. So if your favorite color is red, you can look at all of the red objects. Or maybe you're more into black, for example. You can kind of look at all of those. I really love green, so as you can tell. And here you have some of the green objects. We also did several street view captures for them, and I'll show you shortly how that is also, how that can go into a story. But here again, it's really providing everyone access to this and alerting them to all of these wonderful experiences, and hopefully inspiring people to go visit in person. So because there were so many objects, so many photographs and wonderful exhibits, they created more than 130 exhibits on the different communities. We created this project with them. Utamaduni Vetu, Meet the People of Kenya, from the cradle of mankind to the superheroes of today. So it starts with here, actually an interview and a quote by Kola Tuboson, a very dear friend of mine, who I also think is speaking at RK Festival. He was very lucky to interview Ngugi wa Thiong'o on what it means to be Kenyan. So you can read this interview. We've highlighted here a quote from the interview, which says, "The people of Kenya have an incredible richness of history and culture. Learning from what we already have from all of the communities is the way into the world." So the museum, with the objects, they created these exhibits, which really highlights each of the communities and their cultural, political, social, economic kind of structures and aspects. So each of these, so this is, for example, an exhibit on the Samburos, and it looks into the history and culture of the Samburos from, for example, the Lake Turkana, which is home to the Samburos. It also highlights where you can experience some of the culture. and why they were called the butterfly people. Again, I highly encourage you to visit the page and look at this. So this week, we actually followed up with the second edition of this project. So it was Masuja Day, National Heroes Day in Kenya. And for that, we launched this project, which really focuses on the heroes of Kenya, the superheroes. So the freedom fighters, the spiritual, kind of the magicians, all of the wonderful people who fought for their land pre-colonial times. So I just want to show this video very quickly.
We in Kenya have 44 communities, each with its own superheroes. They are a source of pride for us today and in the future.
In our diversity, the values exemplified by our superheroes: courage, integrity, resilience, determination, adventure, love of the environment, keep us united.
Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going?
Discover the values, hopes, and aspirations passed on by our superheroes from different races, different ethnicities, and different creeds.
Their stories will amaze and inspire. Enjoy our heritage, and you will understand why Kenyans excel on the global stage.
The National Museums of Kenya present Utamaduni Wetu, Our Heritage. Meet the people of Kenya on Google Arts and Culture.
And you are now able to explore these superheroes and each of their stories through the Google Arts and Culture app. There are more than 61 of these, and each with their unique story about their unique community. So we managed to actually cover all 44 communities, which is quite extraordinary. Each of the stories look like this. There's a really cool animation. This one is about the mother of all Turkanas, and it has a really wonderful story.
The mother of all Turkanas.
Each of the exhibits also have audio. So many of these stories were actually never written down. They were passed on through bedtime stories told by your grandmother, or passed on orally, like much of the traditions and cultures are. So this is really the first time that these have been written down in this sense. And then we also collaborated with the museum and Suja Stories that created these animations to do audios. So each of the exhibits actually have audio. I'm just gonna quickly play this one for you so you hear.
The story of Nayese, the legendary mother of all Turkana, begins many years ago when a group of 8 young men lost a bull. The bull of a specific shade of gray or engiro was their source of wealth, and they could not afford to lose it. The 8 young men set out on a journey to find the lost bull.
So I encourage you to visit that exhibit to learn what happened when they went on their journey to find this bull. Furthermore, there are some really interesting videos also highlighting some of the heroes, and one of them being Gomaya, who is the powerful Luo magician. I'll just quickly play this.
The mighty wizard of the Luo. Gormahia, son of Ogada and grandson of Ogado, was a Luo hero born on the idyllic shores of Lake Victoria in the late 18th century. Gore was raised as a normal child alongside his siblings.
So we have all of these videos too. Again, I encourage you to visit and explore them, and then also take this quiz to find out which Kenyan superhero you are. I hope these will unlock your own superpowers and inspire you. Furthermore, on the page, moving back to kind of the history and culture, there's a section on the sound of communities, where you can take a journey through Kenya, but also focusing on contemporary people. So the drama queen, who is an incredible woman and really, really empowering a whole new creative community. There's an interview with her and many others. Furthermore, you can also explore some of the textiles and jewelry, etc., but also the language of Kenya. Even learn Swahili through these 21 inspirational kanga sayings. So the culture of wearing a kanga and giving it as a present, you can read more about it here. But also there are these wonderful sayings. So the sharpness of the eye is greater than the razor, and so forth. So another really fun and wonderful exhibit. Step back in time with Street View to really understand more about the history and culture of, for example, Kenya's first courtroom. And then you can explore some of Kenya's spectacular national parks. We also have a whole education program, but I've already taken way too much time. So that will be for another session. But finally, I want to just show you that up here, when you go to the menu bar, you will be able to look at Explore, Nearby, all of the wonderful collections, all of the wonderful partners we have from around the world. You can dive into them, each of them, and look at their different collections. There's also a map here of all of the partners that we have around the world. So as you can see, with the continent of Africa, we still have a lot to do, and we would love to partner with more museums and non-for-profits to help them digitize their collections, preserve it, and put it onto Google Arts and Culture for everyone to enjoy around the world. Furthermore, over here in themes, you will be able to look at some of the projects that I highlighted today. So that's everything from Meet Our Ancestors, preservation, to food, to cities, to sports, to performing arts, fashion, and so forth. There's many more things. Also the lab that I mentioned in Paris with all our engineers. You can read more about them here in experiments. You can learn more about art movements, mediums, artists, and so forth. But down here you have our About page. And this is where my presentation ends. Because if you have any questions, if you would like to inquire about a partnership, I highly encourage you to go to this About page, which will take you through what Google Arts and Culture is, and how to experience art and culture in new ways through our app, how to partner with us, and also some of our latest news. So highly encourage you to have a look at that. So I want to end with saying thank you so much for this really, really kind invitation to join today. I'm hugely excited to have been speaking with you, and I hope you've enjoyed this overview. And please do get in touch with myself or my colleagues, Tulu, Rami, Larry, Titi, We would love to hear from you if you have any ideas or if you would love to be a partner of Google Arts and Culture. We definitely have much to do on the continent and especially in Nigeria. So please do get in touch. And thank you so much for your time. I hope you will enjoy the festival, the rest of the festival, all the talks. And yeah, thank you so much.
Sticky, spicy, sweet.
Don't touch me! I will get you arrested!
Very, very easy.
Relax, everybody!
He shot you!